It's been really great having a chance to revisit the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit trilogy, and we've been able to remaster our 6 movies in 4K. It never looked this sharp in the old days, that's for sure. Dolby Atmos sound, which you can play at home with incredible surround sound. Yeah, it's great how you can see the detail in that mist and smoke too. It was interesting going back and revisiting these films because I realised how inconsistent they were, and that's really due to the way in which the Lord of the Rings trilogy was shot first, about 20 years ago.
Now you must die.
The Lord of the Rings was shot on 35mm. The colour timing was done in an old-fashioned photomechanical way for the first Lord of the Rings movie. Then we switched to digital colour timing for the 35mm negative for the next 2. Being able to tweak individual colours and it's the sort of thing we just couldn't do 20 years ago. So it's fun to have all the toys now, which I didn't have all this stuff to play with in the old days. And the Hobbit trilogy was nearly 10 years ago now. We were shooting on digital cameras at 4K and doing a whole different technology for the colour timing. So we shot some days were sunny, some days were overcast. It's always a battle to make something feel consistent when it was shot over a long period of time. So even though they are 6 movies that tell one continuous story, it didn't really have a consistency with the look and sound of the films, just due to the time over which they were made. The thing with 4K is not just to go for pristine sharpness, because it is to preserve the cinematic look at the same time as everything becoming a bit more crisp. It's great to be able to have all the films looking like they were shot at the same time, finally. So what this 4K HDR, which is high dynamic range remastering has done, has allowed me to make them look and sound consistent. From the first movie, which in the story terms is an unexpected journey, right the way through the 6 to Return of the King, they now feel like it's one big long film telling the same story and looking and sounding the same. One of the things we found, which we weren't really expecting, is once we converted the Lord of the Rings films to 4K and HDR, the imperfections of the visual effects started to show. Visual effects technology has advanced a lot in 20 years, and when they became, ultra crisp and sharp with the 4K process, we realized that in some of the shots we're not holding up too well.
You have no power here.
So we got the opportunity to go back and to remove and paint out any imperfections. Yeah, that looks great. I should make it clear we didn't upgrade or enhance any of the effect shots. They're exactly the same as you're used to seeing them, except they do look as if they were done today rather than 20 years ago. What I did find during the process of remastering the films is that the central theme of the world in a state of turmoil, and the ordinary people, the hobbits in this case, make a big difference.
I'm going to Mordor alone.
Of course you are. And I'm coming with you.
It's not, a story of heroes or superheroes. It's a story of ordinary people who set out to save their world, and through a long series of hardships, they ultimately achieve that.
Come on, Mr. Frodo. I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you.
That was what was so powerful about the books when Professor Tolkien wrote the novels, and it's what people responded to when our movies came out all those years ago, and I think it's still as relevant today as it ever was. Because really, this process, the way I see it, is it's not about making the film different. It's simply taking a 20-year-old movie and making it feel like it's a modern film. So I'm very pleased with the opportunity to do this. It feels in many respects like I finally reached the end of the journey and finished the job at last.
It is here I must leave.
That's a shame.
So maybe I deserve a cup of tea, and I hope you enjoy them. I guess it was probably exciting the first time around, but it's really exciting now.